All right, let's dive into something you've probably heard a bazillion times, but maybe never really listened to. I'm talking about a YouTube playlist of nursery rhymes from ChuChu TV. And get this, it's been viewed by billions. Yeah, you heard that right, billions. And it turns out there's way more going on than just some catchy songs for toddlers.
I mean, come on, you know the words to head, shoulders, knees, and toes, right? You can probably sing Johnny, Johnny, yes, Papa in your sleep. But what if I told you that hiding behind all those simple lyrics and cute cartoons is actually a super detailed, carefully built curriculum for little kids? Let's peel back the curtain and see what's really going on. Okay, so here's our game plan. We're going to start with this idea of a secret curriculum. Then we'll look at how it teaches through movement, introduces some basic logic, and even sneaks in some moral lessons. And finally, we'll ask, why does this whole thing work so darn well? So, first up, what even is this secret curriculum? Well, the big idea here is that this isn't just a random playlist of songs they threw together. Nope, it's a system, a very deliberate one, designed to build all those super important skills in little kids, one nursery rhyme at a time. And when we say curriculum, we mean exactly this, a structured plan, with goals and everything. It's all about cognitive, physical, social, and emotional development. The real magic, the genius of it, is that ChuChu TV wraps this whole formal structure up in something that just looks and feels like fun. All right, let's jump into the first part of the lesson plan, learning by doing. It all starts with the physical stuff. See, these songs don't want kids to just sit there and listen. Oh no, they're basically screaming, get up and move. They turn a kid's own body into their very first textbook. Okay, think about a classic like head, shoulders, knees, and toes. It's so much more than just a song, isn't it? It's literally a set of instructions. It's teaching kids to identify parts of their body and, this is key, in a specific order. That builds memory, it builds coordination. You have to know the part and remember what comes next. It's like a little physical quiz. And the instructions get even more specific. Look at this line, jump, 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 make your muscle pump. The song doesn't just say, hey, jump. It actually connects the action, the jumping, to what happens in your body. It's like a first grader's lesson in exercise science. It's teaching cause and effect. Do this, and this happens. Okay, so from physical movement, let's switch gears to logic. And this is where things get really clever. I'm talking about math. They manage to weave these pretty abstract concepts into simple little stories. The kids are learning subtraction, but they'd never know it. There's not an equation in sight. So it kicks off with the song 10 in the Bed. And right away, we have our starting number, 10. Super clear. Then the pattern starts. You know the drill. They all rolled over and one fell out. One by one, they disappear. It's a perfect little introduction to the idea of subtracting by one. But they don't just leave it there. The curriculum reinforces the same exact idea, but with a totally different story. 5 little ducks. Think about it. The structure is identical. You start with a number, 5 this time, and then you have that same repetitive loss of 1. By changing the story, you actually make the hidden math lesson even stronger. And when you put them side by side like this, you can really see the design behind it. I mean, yep, they're both teaching subtract by 1, but look at how they end. 10 in the Bed ends with an emotional consequence, right? The little one is lonely. But 5 little ducks ends with a mystery. Where'd they all go? And then a happy ending when they all come back. It's not just math. It's math wrapped in a story with real feelings. Okay, so we've covered the body and the brain. Now let's talk about, well, character. Because what we're looking at here is basically a kid's very first ethics class. And these rhymes are packed with some surprisingly direct lessons about right and wrong, about being kind, and about being responsible for what you do. Let's start with the big one. Johnny, Johnny, yes, Papa. The song isn't really about eating sugar, is it? The whole point, the big climax of the story, is that one line, telling lies, no, Papa. That's the real lesson here. It's all about honesty. And we see this exact same thing in their version of Baba Black Sheep. The song gets a modern update with this really explicit moral. Sharing is a way of caring. It's not subtle. It doesn't just show you sharing. It tells you why sharing is important. You know, even poor old Humpty Dumpty gets a makeover. The original story's kind of a downer, right? He breaks and that's it. But in this version, they add a crucial new line. Humpty Dumpty learned from the fall. Wow, that completely changes everything. Suddenly, it's not a story about failure. It's a story about resilience, about learning from your mistakes. And one more, Ding Dong Bell. It's not just a weird little story about a cat in a well anymore. It becomes this really active lesson against being cruel. A character's told straight up to stop being mean. It's actually teaching kids that they should step in when they see something wrong happening.
So, let's pull all these threads together. Why nursery rhymes? Why use this ancient format for such a complex curriculum? Well, it's because the format itself is like a secret weapon for learning. The tunes are catchy, so the ideas get stuck in your head, and the rhythm just makes everything easier to remember.
And when you actually list it all out, the scope is kinda staggering. In one playlist, you're hitting on physical development, how to think logically, how to handle your feelings, language skills, and even moral reasoning. It is a complete, holistic system, all cleverly disguised as just a bunch of fun songs.
And really, that's the whole ball game right there. This is not just a playlist, it's a lesson plan. These songs weren't just picked out of a hat. They were chosen, and a lot of them were tweaked to fit into this bigger educational goal. So it looks like just passive screen time is actually a pretty active, complex learning experience. Which kind of leaves us with this big, fascinating question, doesn't it? If today's kids are learning about resilience and sharing and standing up to bullies through these songs, what are the nursery rhymes of the future going to teach? What will their secret curriculum look like? It's something to think about, for sure. Thanks for joining me.